Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a beginner's guide for Illusion Connect. Now, this is going to be like a basic guide to get you across the game, pointed in the right direction, and we'll go more in depth into features in future videos. Let me know in the comments if there are any videos that you want me to make for the game. I'll leave timestamps in the description as well, because I feel like these videos normally get fairly lengthy. So any key talking points you can jump to there. Also, I have done a reroll guide. I might revisit that reroll guide by the time the game goes global. So whatever's my most recent reroll guide, I will leave linked in the description as well. Anyway, let's get into it. The first thing I want to look at is a basic combat screen, because to understand the heroes, I just want to understand the mechanics of the game first. So this is just a screenshot, but there's a few things I want to look at. The first thing is down the bottom, you have your different partners, heroes, waifus, whatever you want to call it. Now, these are each going to cost energy to deploy, and you can see the deployment energy cost in the top right-hand corner of their portraits. And then you have a total energy bar. Now, that's going to generate over time, so you got to have the amount of energy required to deploy the heroes. Now, in your formation, you do start the game with about 4 slots, then you increased 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is the max slots you can have. In campaign, you get a random hand of the 10 heroes that you have, and then you can go and play from that. Now, you also over here on the left have your leader. He's like your main hero. He is your king in chest. If he dies, you lose. Over on the enemy team, they're always going to have a hero there that is their king as well, in the same position every time. At least with the content in the game so far, the king is always in the same spot, and you want to defeat that enemy to go ahead and win the battle. Now, enemies will sometimes have, the most I've seen is 4 kings basically, or 4 bosses, and up the top right here you can see that little skull with the 1 of 1. Now, if that was 1 of 4, it would mean that there is going to be 4 bosses that we've got to actually defeat to go ahead and get through it. The other thing, you do have manual / auto and normal fast speed. The cool thing is, if you're on fast speed or normal speed and you need time to think, you can just click on one of your heroes down the bottom here and hold them and drag them up, and that will pause the game basically, or slow it down to a very, very slow speed, so that you can think about what you're trying to do. And if you don't want to place them, you can always drag them back and put them back down. And then on the left here, we also have the abilities of the leader. He gets some abilities, and you can get different leader forms. But that is just the absolute basics of combat. You got the grid system, you drop them in the grid, and then they're going to use their ultimate attack when you drop them. And then also the rage bar, which is this yellow bar under the health bar of everyone. Once that gets full, they're going to use their ultimate ability again. So now we're going to take a look at the units in the game. First of all, we do have the leader. Now, I haven't unlocked the other leader forms on this account, but as you go, you will unlock more leader forms, and basically it's the same leader. However, you basically just get different skills when you unlock these, and you just unlock them as you play. So don't stress too much about it at the start. You're just going to be using this guy. Once you unlock other ones, definitely check out the passives that they have and the skills that they have, because the leader is really unique in that you can make different heroes work in a team that won't work with another leader. So the leader really determines what type of team you can build. So there will be a lot more videos coming out talking about synergies between different leaders and different partners, heroes, waifus. I still don't know what I want to call them. I'll probably stick with heroes for this because it's more natural to me from other games. And then we have the partners / heroes. Now, these are pretty much all waifus. I think there's 1 or 2 dudes in here, but you know, you get the gist from these games. So I just want to look at what there is in the heroes selection page. So over here, we have our leveling up. Now, I'll go to a hero that isn't fully leveled yet and show you the leveling system. It's quite simple. You are not leveled yet. So if we go here and we go levels, we can dump some potions in, and then you have breakpoints at level 30, 45, I think 15 was another one, 60 is another one. Basically, you hit breakpoints like this. So if I level her up to there, we just hit level up, it's going to take her to that breakpoint. Now I'm going to need some of these things to go ahead and get them. Now you're going to get these from campaign. Now you can just hit the plus, and if you've cleared a stage that you can actually get these from, you can just go straight and raid. You do have stamina. However, if you 3-starred a stage, you can raid it, which you don't have raid tickets or anything limiting like that. It's just if you have the stamina, it's going to go ahead and raid them. Really nice to get that stuff for upgrading. And also, if you're not up to that stage, as you can see, I've only cleared one stage that drops these. It'll tell you the other stages that you can get them from, and that is the basic level progression. Next up, we have lens progression, which is your star system. And as you can see, I'm going to need extra shards of her to get there. Now you will get these shards from summoning duplicates. There's also other ways in the game to get shards. As you can see, I've got 4 for her at the moment. Now for SSRs, you're going to get I think to get to 4-star, you'll need 1 full duplicate summon. To 5-star is another duplicate summon, and then to 6-star is 2 duplicate summons. So you need 5 all up to get to 6-star, and then there's only a few heroes at the moment that can actually get ascended, and that's going to be 4 duplicates. So hopefully they reduce that cost. It seems a bit steep, but you know, we'll have to see, because not all of them do have ascensions. I'm not sure the direction they're going to go with the ascension system. So that is that. Then I'll go back to another hero here and have a look. So then we have other things. The gear is very simple at the start. Just when you get gear, just fast equip, fast enhance, and that's pretty much all you want to do at the very basics. I will go more in depth into a gear guide later on, but there is gear. It comes a little bit later in the game, not as soon as you normally get it in most games. So that is a thing. And when I was talking about the lens, I just want to go back here and show you one that's different. As you can see, you can sometimes get these half stars when you're lens upgrading, and once you get a half star, to get the full star, you've then got to use shards. So if we go here and go to the shards, as you can see, you can use shards from any hero. SRs give 2, SSRs give 5. I would not use any SR or SSR shards to upgrade in these sections, because you're going to want to use those to upgrade your SSRs and SRs when you actually need them. Stick to your rares, because you'll get a lot of them, and the dust that you get along the way to do those upgrades. The next thing we're going to look at is going to be, if we go over here in and click on the sort of elemental system there, we have basically 7 elements. So they're not actually elements, but it still tilts me that red beats blue, but hey, we'll deal with it. So you have attack, sorcerer, guardian beating each other in that order. Light and spell counter each other. Heal and summon don't have counters. However, light and spell do increased damage to everyone else. Just something to remember. But in general, attack is going to be like single target nukers, and sometimes it strays away from this a little bit and doesn't seem exactly that, but general attack is single target nukers. Sorcerers are normally AoE based damage. Guardians are your tanks with shields, defense buff, sometimes invincibilities, taunts, stuff like that. Spell is going to focus more on debuffs. Light is going to focus more on buffs. Heal is for healing, and summon is for, they're going to summon copies of themselves or minions just to flood that grid. Really handy for distracting and wasting enemy single target abilities and stuff like that. So that is those. And then besides that, we do have the skills. So now let's go into the skills. So every hero is going to have a passive, a unique, a special, and a normal attack. Now, normal attack is what they're going to do all the time. Now it's just going to be, for some healers, it's going to be just a basic heal on an ally. For damage dealers, it's going to be a single target attack. Basically, your special is just going to be a higher damage version of your basic normally. However, with skill ups, which we'll talk about in a sec, you will get more effects from them. Your unique is like your ultimate ability, which you're going to use when you first get dropped into battle, and then also whenever your rage bar hits full. And then your passive, as you can guess, it's going to be a passive. Now I'll go to this screen because it's easier to see the passive. As you can see, passives always have like just a basic thing that they do. So this chick's a healer, and when she's present, she grants all ally partners a damage rate increase, which is really nice. Then you have these lineup activation requirements. So this is requirements in your team and placements that are going to be needed to activate. So this one, deploy at least 5 partners of different classes. Activation reward when Anna is present grants herself and allied partners deployed after herself. So once she's on, anyone after her is going to get these effects, but you have to deploy 5 partners of other classes before you can get that. So some of these have really steep requirements, some of them are easy, so just keep an eye out for that. And then, like I said, I want to look at the skill up. So when we do increase our stars, we actually get increases in our abilities, and as you can see, this one's just going to increase the healing from that ability, increasing the damage resistance rate, which is nice on that one. And then this ability here, so this is that second ability, which is normally like an enhanced version of the basic at the start. And the way this activates this second ability is that whenever you go to use your basic attack, at base you have a 15% chance, and as you can see here, we're going to get an increased 15% chance. So every time she goes to use her basic attack, she will actually have a 30% chance to use this ability instead, and this is going to make it also restore 100 rage. So they all have different effects on that, and as you can see, so you get your 3, 4, 5 and 6 star upgrades for that. Now the only thing that I wanted to mention besides that for characters or heroes is you have SSR, SR, and R heroes. Now, the 3 heroes that you start the game with are going to be Saya, if we can find it, Nina, and Victoria. Now, these ones you cannot summon. They start out as rare heroes, and you cannot summon them. You get their shards throughout playing the game in free-to-play methods. Now, these are 3 unique ones in that you can actually upgrade. As you can see, my Saya is now SSR, so you can actually build them up and upgrade their rank like that, and they're actually all fairly decent once you get them maxed out. But they're the only 3 that do that. Every other rare hero is stuck at rare, can only go to 4 star, and SRs are stuck at SR and can only go to 5 star, and then SSRs do have that 6 star limit, and some can be ascended once they get to 6 star. So that's just something to remember. However, there are some very, very good SR units like Pan or Pan or Pon, or however you want to say it here, and Rikia or Rikia, I suck at names, but you know, there's some really good SR heroes and some actually usable, decent rare heroes. I will do more videos on different heroes and stuff like that, but something like this, Carol's the one that I've actually been enjoying, because she's got a passive that's going to reduce the enemy's attack for 10 seconds. Kind of nice when you get to a boss that's spamming ultimates that are AoE and deleting your team. It pretty much makes them a wet noodle. So there are different rare units that you can slot into a team and get some effective use out of. I just want to quickly take a look at the lineup. Some abilities will state that you know, it talks about average energy of your team. So energy is obviously that deployment cost of your heroes, and you can see over the left here the average energy. If you're looking for that, just so you know where that comes in, you can create new teams. Hit the arrow on the right, it'll take you to other teams that you can build. If you go to build a fresh one, you just basically choose your leader and then you'll choose your team after that. But that is the basic gist behind team creation and stuff like that. Next up, I just want to look at the combat modes. Now we do have Dream, which is your campaign mode. Now there is a normal and collapse mode. In the early part of the game, it will take you over to collapsed. Just basically, if you get stuck on one, go to the other, see how you go, progress, and then go back. Some chapters, for instance chapter 8, you will have a star requirement, which is total stars, which you can see it's behind my head, but trust me, it's there. It's there. It tells you your total stars, and some of them you have to get so many stars to get into. If you don't 3-star a stage, I just keep moving on until I get to this stage where it says, you know, you need this many stars to continue to this stage. Then you just scroll back through, jump into some chapters that should now be easy for you, like this one, and then you can go ahead and complete those stars. You do also have progression rewards along the way as well. So as you can see, if I clear this, I will get 5 Victoria shards, some gold and stuff like that, depending on how many stars you get in the chapter. And then we also have these ones here as you just can keep completing chapters. Once again, this one's behind my head, but you can get the gist. You will get more stuff that you can collect from that. If you're in a stage and you can see the recommended CP and then your current CP, if you're like around the recommended CP, odds are you're not going to get it on auto. You will probably want to manual. But like I said, you do have stamina, which you can also refresh 5 times per day. Now, I like refreshing this personally, whereas some people like saving it for summons. It does increase in cost. I think the 5th one's going to cost 160 diamonds, so it does get expensive. Free to play, I'm still not 100% sure what you want to do. I mean, I'm free to play on this one, but I'm just mucking around waiting for global. And I will probably spend a little bit on global, so it's your call. I might make a video further on, see if someone smarter than me does a bunch of math calculations and work out if it's worth it. But for me, I do like refreshing. If I just run out of stamina, I like to refresh. The other thing to note is campaign stages do cost you 6 stamina. However, if you lose, you get 5 stamina back. So if you're stuck like up to your like limit on campaign and you're like starting to fail, don't be afraid to keep retrying, because you know you will get it. It will only cost you 1 stamina for a fail, which is not going to be the end of the world. Next up, we're going to jump into the other features in the game. So the trials has a bunch of features. It does take a little while to unlock these things. First one I'm going to look at is over on the right, the Nightmare Lab. This is like a training session, so I should have probably done this by now, but I just don't. It takes you through the basics of combat. It's like the game's combat tutorial, but it doesn't force you to do it. But if you do it, you get some rewards. So that is that one. Over here we have daily trials, which are going to be 3 different trials to get resources. You're going to need different teams. This one basically you're going to need to heal. This one you need to use AoE, and this one you need to basically nuke the enemies to clear them. And as you can see here, extra reward attempts. So I feel like this is going to be spending level dependent, because it does cost 10 stamina. So it depends if you're going to refresh stamina and stuff like that. But for me, every day I would do the 4 attempts of each of them. As you can see down the bottom there, 4 of 4. Because when you do those, I'm up to this one, but I'm just going to go back and raid this one, because you can raid ones that you've cleared. So when I raid here, you're going to see I get shards. So, and now once I've done that, you can see I'm down to 3 or 4 attempts. Once you've used all those attempts, you will not get shards anymore. So it is purely just for the resources. So that is the daily ones. Do them daily. I recommend doing the 4 of each of them at a minimum daily. Next up is exploration. This is like a little exploration mode where you can run around and do stuff like that. You can click or you can do. And once you've cleared the stage once, you can click auto and it will go ahead and do all the stuff for you. And basically these enemies, how we just swipe them and that's it. When it's on auto, it does that. When you're on manual, each time you come up to an enemy, you actually go into a combat scenario with the 9 of 9 grid and have to defeat them. But like I said, once you've finished it once, you can just come in and auto it. So that's not too bad at all. Let's see if I can exit out of this. There we go. Back into the trials. Now we do have the Arcana. Now this one's interesting. If we go in here and go challenge, as you go, you're going to be able to challenge enemies, but it also gives you, so at the start it gives you a random leader to choose, and then as you beat enemies, you get to choose basically some heroes that you want to have in your team. Now the unique thing about this system that I really love is the fusion. So you can go in here with fusion, so you can get heroes in your team that you can't get anywhere else in the game. So for instance, Kasumi here, you cannot get her in other places in the game at the moment. They will do a banner for her later on, but you can't actually summon her from the normal banner. So I can get her there. I've already done her, so I'll show you on another one. So if I go to Anna here, I can actually see this bar that says 150. I can increase that by feeding her heroes. So basically, and by feeding them, it's essentially I won't be able to use them for the rest of this run, basically. So what I can do here is, see how I have 2 Annas, I can just feed that Anna off because I've still got one. It doesn't matter, it's all scaled and stuff like that. We can feed this one off as well, and then we can do one more rare. As you can see, that gives me 150, and when I get the 150, I will get a chest that's going to have 1, 2, or 3 shards. So I can go confirm, fusion, get the extra abilities, and as you can see, I get 1 shard. So it is a nice way to target shards. It will take time, however you will eventually get there. So that's that feature, and then every other stage is just going to be 9 grid system, and then you basically defeat it, get to choose another one, and keep progressing on. So that is that one. Definitely worth doing the fusion on heroes. I definitely recommend early on, I recommend Kasumi first up because she is really hard to get, and any other basically hero that you really want to build. Next up we have Dream Expedition. Now this is a really nice mode. This is like a tower mode from other games that resets weekly. The cool thing is, after the weekly reset, any stages that you cleared the previous week can be auto cleared. And as you can see, when we go to level reward, there's a bunch of different levels, and it shows you the reward and the first clearance reward. Now the rewards are nice because obviously once you jump into this the second time, you're just going to auto clear it and it's going to be easy. Next up we have the arena. Now the Dream Arena is pretty basic. You can quick clear enemies, so you can use fast challenge, use a ticket. And it's pretty simple, and you can just keep working through them. And fast challenge, really, really nice. Or you can go in and manual it. You do have challenge tickets. Now, if you lose, the nice thing is you don't lose a challenge ticket. So feel free to keep retrying against an enemy if you want. You get progression rewards. So if I win one more, hopefully we win. Cool, we're going to go ahead and get the progression rewards, which is nice. Now, the thing about Arena that's a little bit different is the lineup. Now, you can set Arena attack team and a defense team. Now, the order that you set these in, so if we go here, really relevant for defense. As you can see down the bottom right here, which all modes don't have, like campaign, you get a random hand. In Arena, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is the order you will get the heroes and the order that the AI will deploy them on defense. So really bring some real team building into it and the order that you want to deploy heroes. So just keep that in mind for Arena. But besides that, very basic, just attacking enemy players and getting some points. Now, they do have friend battle. Now, friend battle is really interesting because it is a real-time battling system. Hopefully, they do introduce like a real-time arena competitive system because I think it would be wicked, but there is that. Next up, we have the idle loot farming system in the game. We do have this. So you click the chest. It's behind my head. Once again, my head is in a horrible spot for this game. A lot of stuff in the bottom left. Anyway, you get this. You do have resource tickets. General idle theory. Unless you're at a breakpoint where you need to use these resource tickets to get those resources to bump something past a certain point, you want to hold on to them because they are going to be governed by how progressed you are in the game. So there's that, and to use these, all you have to do is click that and then claim. So that's your general idle loot. So we'll go ahead and claim whatever's in there. Then you can hit the text on this thing that's behind my head. It's going to take you to your little housing system. Sweet, we got that. So what we're going to do here is you're going to have different things that you can build, which are going to give you different idle benefits. So for instance here, we're going to go ahead and get some crystals, which are used to upgrade stuff in here. Then we have the desert cart giving us gold. We've got XP, all that stuff. So you're going to get a bunch of different stuff from these. Now, basically, it's like a red dot simulator. If there's a red dot, go ahead and upgrade it. Some of these chairs and stuff eventually get expensive, so you may want to save on some of your gold. But in general, it's a red dot emulator. Click it, upgrade it when you get the red dot. Now, the other thing you can do, sometimes they have a little symbol on their heads of like gifts, and you can give them gifts. So this one here, I can click gift, and then we can go ahead and confirm that gift. Cool beans, and we get some nice intimacy. We'll talk about intimacy in a second. Then we have this idle system. So as you can see, you got the different rooms that you can place your heroes in. Ooh, I got to fill out the hot spring. I never filled that out. Let's just dump them. And as you can see, they're going to give you intimacy increases, which we'll talk about later. And this one's going to increase crystal output. This one's going to do gold. And each room has a specific faction. They have factions, as you can see the little symbols here, that are going to be increased. So and it's also going to depend on their level, their rarity, all that sort of stuff. So as you can see, this one here is going to give me plus 12% because she's an SSR, pretty leveled, and she's on faction. You can see up here the required faction to get bonuses. And so you're just going to want to basically fill it out according to that. This one is going to be this symbol that's going to do better. As you can see, we've got plus 4, plus 5, plus 5, and then plus 2 because she's only an SR. And it's pretty basic. Just look at this, look at this. When you come here down the bottom row, it'll order it in the heroes that give you the most to the least. So just keep an eye out for that. It's going to give you just some intimacy with them, and then also those extra bonuses. As you can see, this one's going to give partner HP, this one's going to give leader HP. You get all those sorts of things. That's the basics of this. Not too in depth, but yeah, make sure you place them in that idle feature because it's really nice. Now, I said we take a look at the intimacy. So if we go to album over here, we can select a hero and we can check out the intimacy. So down the bottom here, you're going to have your intimacy level. You can gift them different things that you'll get along the way to give them intimacy. You'll get chests or like items that have a bunch of gifts in them. Just go to your bag to open them up and get them, which is up the top here in the inventory. I'll see if I have any to open. I don't think, here we go. Something like this, a gift box. I can use that, use the 10 of them. It's going to give me a bunch of things that I can use to raise intimacy with my heroes if we ever get through all of them. So now I can go over there back to the album and we can basically put some intimacy in. I think she was the next one I was working on. Yes, and then we can just basically gift. And when you go to gift, it's going to have the 2 red hearts for ones that give them bonus intimacy. I guess it's like things that they like. The yellow heart is going to be basic, so no bonus. And then if we keep going down, we might see the broken heart one, which is going to give it negative points. So you want to try and stick to really using the ones that give bonus points if you want to be most efficient with gifting them. And that's pretty much the gist of that. As you can see, as you go along, you can check the intimacy bonuses you're going to get. So you're going to get some HP and defense there. And then as you go along, you will unlock, as you can see with this one, you unlock more info about their bio, but then you do unlock dating. So we can confirm date here. I shouldn't have clicked that because it's a bunch of text. I just skipped through it. I don't know if the right choices change anything. For now, I'll do a guide on the dating aspect of the game later on, if it does actually impact depending on what you choose. So we'll have to wait and see. But then you go through the date, and as you can see, you get some bonus intimacy, and that's pretty much it. You keep getting the intimacy, you get more stats, all that type of stuff. So that is that system. Now it's just like the basic stuff left over. Quests, do your quests, daily quests, all that sort of stuff. And then as you go through your daily quests, you're going to get a chest up the top, which is going to give you different stuff. Make sure you pick up, do your dailies, because the final one is going to give you a select ticket. Now, we'll talk about the summons in a second, but then you've got other things. You've got the Wings of Growth. This stays here forever. Just some nice little rewards you can get, and you'll get a skin at the end of it, but it doesn't have a time limit. It just stays there, like I said, forever. You have news, which is basically like server progress. So you can just go here, and basically as long as someone or in your server or amount of people have cleared something, you can go ahead and get free gems, which is nice. And that's pretty much it. We also do have the perks. So the perks is like daily logins, different sort of stuff like that. So finally, we'll jump into summons. Now, summons, like I said, you've got these select tickets which you get from your dailies. Now, these are used on special banners that come. For me personally, I'm waiting. I'm just going to stockpile these until a banner that I really want comes out. Miyuki is really strong. Maki is really strong, but I'm not going to go for her yet. So I'm just stockpiling these. The thing with these is you do get step ups, so after 20 pulls and 70 pulls. For these though, you have to do them in 10 pulls to get these bonuses. So do not do singles for these. Very bad idea. The next thing we do have is other banners, this is like your normal sort of banner. And then this one is another normal sort of banner where you get rate up on certain heroes. So keep an eye out for those. If there's a good hero you want to get, then it's worth going for these. For instance, in these two banners, I like this banner way more. Yuffie is pretty strong AoE, especially with one of the leader styles. And then you got Vivian, who's not too bad. She's got a passive where she's going to reduce the deployment energy cost of the next hero that you deploy. So she's pretty decent as well. But if you don't like any of the banners for the regular summons, which are these blue and yellow tickets, you can just go to Radiant Summon. This is general summons. However, I normally think instead of going Radiant, like early on, you want to get some heroes. So yes, but later on you probably want to start waiting for specific banners that have heroes you want to get. These don't have the guaranteed pulls, they're just increased rates. So if we go to see details, we can see 50% of the SSR drops from this banner will be one of those two heroes. So just something to keep in mind. These are the specific ones where it's going to go specific hero and you get the rate ups and stuff like that. And then we do have a gear summon, which I'm not a fan of personally, so I'll have to wait and I'll do more information on gear summoning, because honestly I'm not too sure about whether it's worth it yet. I just always hate summoning for gear in games. I'd rather go for heroes every day of the week. But that is pretty much it for the game. Hopefully that gets you through the basics and gets you started. It's really simple once you get through the early parts of it. It ends up becoming do your dailies, collect your AFK loot, and then you can pretty much just dump your stamina on whatever you want on the daily dungeons, or you can on the daily trials, or you can just go in and you want some upgrade materials for one of your heroes. You just do the raids and you dump it pretty quick. So it is a pretty low maintenance game once you get established after a few days. Anyway guys, we will have more guides. Let me know if there's anything you want me to go more in depth into, and I can look at making those guides. But thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.